Top of the morning, y'all. Real quick, Allegiance Gold is sponsoring this video. Really happy to have these guys with us. We've seen it just go and rise like we never even believed. So if you're ever interested in gold, if you're ever interested in silver whatsoever, call 855-45-BUDDY or go to protectwithbuddy.com. There's no minimum, and you get to physically hold it in your hand, which is what I love. I'll put the link below for you. Okay, y'all. One of the most interesting weeks ever. I never do this, but yesterday I literally sat down in my recliner and I absorbed all day long. I prayed. I asked God for a lot of different things I'm going to keep between me and God, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm feeling this crazy shift and this weird spirit going through America right now. People are changing, the spirit's changing, the times are changing, and what I'm going to talk about today definitely leads into that. But I don't mean to make the comment section of this particular video turn into this whole prophetic thing, but I will say, if you're watching this and you have felt a big shift inside of you and you're thinking, something's about to happen, I don't feel like you're feeling that out of coincidence. I don't feel like you're a conspiracy theorist, and I definitely don't feel like it should be muted and hushed and kept to yourself. I really feel like it would encourage this whole body, this whole channel right here of believers and channel of patriots to really just say, it's all right, we're feeling it too, and we're going to prepare alongside with you. Does that make sense? I just want to put that out there first and foremost. We're hearing about the probability of a Black Swan event. A Black Swan event is something completely unpredictable, 9/11, Pearl Harbor, something terrible. Of course, the more you talk about a Black Swan event, the more predictable it becomes because everybody's talking about it, and at that point it becomes predictive programming. Now, do you take this serious, buddy? Yeah, I take this dead serious because I don't feel like there's anything whatsoever the deep state will not do during an election year. I mean, many places around the world, all over the place, have already gone Mad Max. Y'all seen this. Look at Gaza, look at Ukraine, look at Haiti. I mean, they're just running through Haiti right now, shooting up everybody. The gangs have completely taken over. If I was in the DR, I don't even know what I'd be doing because they share the same island. We were just down there last year, having a great trip, and God only knows what it's going to turn into now. It's like a bonfire, and I've illustrated this before. I burn a lot of bonfires. It's a country boy's rite of passage. You light one spot with the wind, going into the fire, and then you light another spot, and you light another spot, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Well, it's almost like some of these people with their eyes closed are seeing all these spots of the bonfire lit up around the world, all these wars, all these troubles that are getting caused, and they're going, no, I don't think it's going to lead into World War III at all. I think the bonfire is just going to burn out on its own. Are you kidding me? Let me tell y'all a little story. When I was 10 years old, I had a friend, his old man had a really awesome social life. He'd basically get off work and he would go out to his garage, he would crack a beer, and he would listen to his police scanner for about 2 hours until it was time to go to bed. And he did this for, around this big old workbench that was 15 feet long, low lit, and he had a bunch of tools that he'd collected over about 30 years. And after dinner with the family, he'd literally go out there, he'd crack a beer, and he would listen to that police scanner until it was time to go to bed. That was high entertainment for Mr. Hank, okay? Funny thing is, Mr. Hank knew a whole lot more about what was going on around the town than anybody else. He knew the troublemakers better than anybody, and he could predict crime almost better than the dadgum police. One day, Hank got off work. I'll never forget being over there in my buddy's garage. We were always, throwing wall ball and throwing a tennis ball up against the garage while Mr. Hank was listening to the police scanner telling us to shut up. But he'd crack a beer and he's out there listening, and they were describing a suspect with a certain history. Well, old Hank knew exactly who they were talking about. He dialed 911 and led them directly to the suspect. See, back in the early 90s, helping police apprehend a dangerous criminal was actually seen as a good thing. Nowadays, we're the enemy. Now the corruption's in our own government. You got Ron Paul up there last week with Tucker Carlson talking about how he believes there's going to be a massive Black Swan event that's about to happen. It's about to turn us all into Mad Max. This is where it gets real interesting. And to quote Edward Snowden, when exposing a crime is treated just like committing a crime, you're being ruled by criminals. Now, leading up to this election, during, right after, or right before, I believe you're going to see what I'm talking about. Half of y'all on this channel have Googled the whole Days of Darkness thing and how it might happen to America. Now, the people that were all laughing about the possibility of Days of Darkness and the power grid getting shot down, they're not laughing anymore after AT&T got hacked. They're not laughing anymore after Facebook and Instagram and Meta just completely went down. Our stuff is getting messed with. And the power grid is the ultimate prize for all of our enemies. Now, look, if people can't vote, or right afterwards there's no power to run the machines to count the votes or anything like that, I'm telling y'all right now, this is a very likely scenario. Americans are going to lose their freaking minds. You could literally have an undisclosed shipping container get dropped off in the middle of Nebraska at 3 a.m. and send an EMP way up into the clouds, and depending on how far up it goes and how powerful that EMP is, it could knock out 100 plus miles of electricity. Imagine if they do that at the same time in about 5 different places. Now the US is big, it's broad, it's gonna be tough to knock out, but I'm telling y'all, this kind of crap could happen and it could already be being staged. If we do have a blackout event, a Black Swan event, same exact thing like Ron Paul is talking about, I want y'all to remember something. In the old ways, in the ways y'all and I were brought up, we were the good guys, bad guys were the bad guys. It's all gonna get flipped. What I'm saying is, our police state doesn't even stop criminals anymore, like we were just talking about a minute ago. They go after us. So any government official that appears after a Black Swan event in your town trying to help your community has to be looked at with immediate suspicion and distrust. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. One more thing, next week, Happy New Year. The biblical New Year is actually on March 25th. Look it up. Dig into that. I went down the whole rabbit hole yesterday about it. Exodus chapter 12, you'll see God is talking about how the new year was actually in the spring. Why does it matter? Because I feel like we've been enjoying the peace and prosperity of this present year. When God's calendar gets flipped over, I feel like it is marked for completely different things. I'm gonna tell y'all, that bonfire example, we've all lit bonfires. You've seen it getting lit and torched with lighter fluid in about 8 or 9 different places. And it's a big old bonfire. It's a big old world. These wars are growing, they're spreading, not getting died out. They're getting fueled by our politicians, they're getting fueled by the deep state. It will knock on our door. All right, I'm in this video off in a very different way than I usually do. If you've been feeling in your spirit any of this stuff that I'm talking about whatsoever, I want you to comment below. I want you to encourage each other and reply to each other and just say, look, you're not crazy. We're feeling it too. There's a reason this message is coming to all of us at the same time. This channel right here is one big police scanner on steroids. Our ears are to the ground. We're listening, hopefully listening to the Holy Spirit, hopefully listening to what God has had. And I don't ever claim to say, this is what God is saying he's gonna do. I'm seeking. I'm just truly a seeker and nothing more. And if God ever gives me a message like a burning bush or something, and I'll have no choice but to put it on here, that's fine, but he's never done that with me before. I'm just saying we need to band together and get these messages out because they're very, very important and we're all paying attention to the same thing at the same time so we can act accordingly. God bless y'all. Be good.